Good morning, and welcome to another one of Drew's book reviews. So, today's book, Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. This is kind of part of the Mistborn world that Brandon Sanderson had created, going all the way back to his initial Mistborn trilogy. If you haven't read the original trilogy, definitely recommend you do, of course, starting with the book Mistborn, which is the title of the series. This book takes place after the Alloy of Law, which is kind of the second trilogy in the Mistborn series, and takes place several hundred years after the initial events in the initial trilogy. So it's more of a Western meets Industrial Revolution mixed with magical fantasy world. So it's really kind of pretty cool where you got all this magical abilities mixed with old style Western type scenario. So this whole world of Mistborn is based around the idea of the metallic arts, or a magic system based around the idea of burning metals. Now, not literally burning like setting them on fire, but rather you would ingest them, and the term is called burning of these alchematic or metallic things. Different types of metals have different powers that are resulting from that. There's about 16 different metals or feruchemical metals, and it's divided between alchematic powers and feruchemical powers. And there's also the gods of this world, which are harmony, which he is the god of everything, and then there's preservation and rune as well. So even the names of the god kind of have their own unique ideology behind them. Harmony being peace for all, preservation to preserve that which is good or which needs to be preserved to remain things as the status quo, and then of course rune being the devastation and destruction of all. Within these books as well, they've got what I guess you could term God's angels, so to speak, the Kandra, which are the faceless and mortals. So it's really kind of creepy but cool at the same time. You see, what they do is they literally ingest or devour people in order to become them. And it's really kind of creepy because they'll devour their bones, they'll devour every part of their body, and then they become them. At which point they're able to deceive people into following their orders depending on who they are, manipulate them into doing things that the great god wants them to do. And of course, we got our main character, Wax, and his sidekick, Wayne. If you've ever seen one of those westerns or read one of those westerns, you always got the lawman, the gunslinger lawman, and his sidekick by him the whole time. And of course, the sidekick's always one of those, crazy guys. Well, Wayne is definitely one of those crazy guys. Hilarious, funny. He's definitely there for comic relief. Something I really like about the guy. And he's kind of obsessed with hats. You see, he figures in order to think like someone else, you have to wear their hat. And if you wear their hat, then you get their thinking. He's really kind of crazy. So, of course, both Wax and Wayne are individuals with these alchematic powers, which they, of course, use in all their adventures to round up the bad guys. So, in this particular book, we've got one of the Kandra who has literally gone insane and is out there just wreaking havoc, bringing chaos to this city and the world. And it's up to, of course, Wax and Wayne to stop the insanity before all hell breaks loose and the world burns to ashes. So he's got to be out there, and the problem here is he doesn't know who is the bad guy, because the bad guy keeps changing people. So you never know who the actual bad guy is. But he has this ability to communicate with God directly. And God is kind of helping him on his path to try and find the bad guy and destroy him. Look, I'm not going to get too much into the details of how the story plays out. It's really up to you to read the book and find out. But honestly, if you like Western and you like fantasy, this is a series you want to take a look at. It's a series you want to read. It's fun. It's got a lot of action. It's got quite a few humorous moments within the story. Just a really fun read, and definitely one I would recommend to you. Of course, you're going to want to start with your initial Mistborn trilogy because there's a lot of references back to the original trilogy, which has basically become the religion of this world based upon the events of the initial trilogy. So definitely worth reading the initial one. But, once we get to this point in the Wax and Wayne series or trilogy in the Mistborn world, Western, romance, high action adventure, and just hilarity throughout the book. Just really fun read. And I definitely recommend it. So pick it up, check it out. And also, of course, don't forget to subscribe and share the blog site, andrewsbookreviews.wordpress.com. You could also find me on Facebook and Twitter, which I will, of course, post the links below. Next up, we are going to be reading The Bands of Mourning. So it's, of course, the next book in the Wax and Wayne series. So definitely stay tuned to check that out. Hope you enjoyed the review. And again, thanks for watching. You have yourself a great day.